Your 9th out of 10, and this is the opposite of deregulation, is regulating immigration.
Yes.
Anti-immigration is now a sentiment in the West. Immigration will keep dropping. Led by the United States, net immigration is down worldwide in 2025 versus the peak year. And if you look 2023, hugely down in America, hugely down in Europe, and down in England as well. It's the same sentiments. Is this a kind of reaction as they overdid it, or is it a bit of racism? What is it?
Well, I think so. The very important finding here is that there's so much focus on America, right? And how America has turned much more anti-immigration.
But he didn't build the wall.
Yeah, but
but he's doing all kinds of other things. Yeah.
But the key finding here is that it's not just America. It's so many Western nations who are following exactly the same example in their own quiet way, including UK.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of this is because partly, as you said, it's a reaction because in the first few years, we saw this massive influx of immigration which took place. And some of it is the fact that, for good or for bad, people sort of feel very protective about this issue of ethnic identity. Like the idea that you don't want too many people to come here and spoil what they think is their ethnic identity. Now, despite the benefits that some of this may bring economically.
Right.
So these are some of
exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's the whole point, that what is good economics at times can be bad politics. And I think that that's the issue here with immigration. But the key point here is that this is happening not just in America, but across the Western world. Very few nations, maybe some Nordic nations, Spain, are still generally pro-immigration, but immigration rates are down across the Anglo-Saxon world, across the West. Not just America.
And as you said, in other countries, Canada, they've cut new permanent resident permits by 20%, faster removal of failed asylum claimants. In other countries, Australia increased fees for international students, added rules to restrict visa hopping. Everybody's cutting back. Japan launched zero illegal immigrants plan, tightened security of permanent residents. I mean, these are all the research you've done.
Yeah.
And it shows that every country, not just America, is just cutting back.
Yeah. But I think, and in India, we have the opposite problem, as you know, which is the fact is that as far as India is concerned, the number of people leaving this country has surged, right? So, like about nearly a decade ago, I had done this study to show that there was a very sharp acceleration in the number of millionaires leaving India.
Right.
And I'd spoken about that.
Yeah.
Now that trend in fact has subsided a bit, which is the number of millionaires leaving India, especially as a share of the total millionaires, has stabilized or in fact gone down a bit, which I think is good news.
Right.
But the problem now we are facing is that the mass immigration which is happening out of India has accelerated sharply. That, like in the 80s and 90s, it was virtually in balance. But then it accelerated last decade to a trend of about 300,000 on a net basis.
Yeah, you've got actually a graphic on that. But before coming to that, just the question that you raised about economically it may hurt them. I mean, it helps politically, keep these foreigners out, etc. But in America, Indians are really boosting their economy. The Indian community of Indian origin have the highest per capita average income of any community in America by far. We are ahead of all the big, Google, Microsoft, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah, so as I said, the economic case is unequivocal, and not just in America, even other places which have become big magnets. Like, for example, where are the Indians migrating increasingly? America remains the largest place, but it's also places such as the Middle East, where they want Indian workers.
Very well there.
And they want Indian workers across the board out there. But the issue for us is the fact that why do we want so many people to leave our country? We should want more and more people to remain in our country.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened.
IIT graduates who get a really subsidized education, the minute they qualify, the 3 letters IIT, it just gets you any job in the world.
Yeah, but I think that so in India what we have seen is that the outward immigration in India has accelerated significantly at a mass level over the last few years. So now we have nearly 700,000 people a year leaving the country, which used to be an average of 300,000
it is.
In the last few years.
Yeah, you've exactly what you said. We've got data to show what you're saying, that immigration keep dropping in developed countries, but India has more people leaving than coming in. A few years ago, 300,000 net amount leaving.
Yeah.
To now 670,000. That's more than double the amount of people leaving this country, and many of them are very qualified.
Yeah,
right?
so this is accelerated significantly.
Yes.
A lot of it is going to places like the Middle East, and the only countries which have a larger net immigration going out are Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Okay.
Right? Now, of course, the population sizes are smaller, but like India and China used to roughly have the same amount of immigrants leaving the country a year, about 300,000. China stabilized around that level. With a similar population. Ours is accelerated significantly, and as I said, that
so China, the emigration not gone up much.
It's about 300,000 a year. It seems to have stabilized around there. But in India's case, it has accelerated to over 600, close to 700,000.
Yeah.
And as I said, Pakistan, Bangladesh are the only countries. But Bangladesh is almost similar. Pakistan's higher for obvious reasons, and then. Ukraine also saw, but that's like a one-off because of the war which is taking place in South. So I think that what we need to do, and this is what comes back to the start of our discussion, India in general, if I were to say, needs to focus, how do we import more capital and how do we export less people. And less workers? Right. I think that needs to be
very correct,
a big policy framework for us. Because both of those are very helpful, that we want to keep as many people at home as possible, and for the government to look at why are so many people renouncing their citizenship, why are they leaving this country. Right. We want those people here because a lot of people leaving, as you said, do very well when they go abroad.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Indians' DNA is better than anybody else in the world. That's why.
Great nationalist line.
Sorry. Some people that are doing very well after leaving India, I won't mention any names of anybody here, but doing very well indeed, especially in your research.